Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Stacy and today we are going to be freshening up my Daniel Smith palette. I got two new colors. I haven't used this palette in a while and I really want to use it moving forward. I've been stuck in my Beam Paints palette for a while now. I was doing some shopping online, wishing I had more paint, wishing and wanting for more paints, and I was gonna repurchase these thinking I didn't have them. In case you didn't see my haul video, I already had these. My swatch book over there isn't updated, so that's a quest that I'm gonna be on. But yeah, so I pulled out my palettes and I decided instead of buying a whole new set of paints, because I have Daniel Smith paints. I have Daniel Smith paints, y'all. I have quite a few. I would just go ahead and freshen up my Daniel Smith palette. Now, this palette, which I love, I'll link it below. They're still available on Amazon. I like it because it has the tray that fits right there, like so. Let me see, making sure I'm in frame. So it has the tray, and I have my stuff set up like this in this palette. And I like that it has this that you can take out and use as extra mixing space. And you'll see me take it out and set it across my palette like that in my videos, and just kind of floats around the desk a little bit. And sometimes it'll be set up in a line, like like this. I'll tuck it underneath this lip and just have one big situation going on off to the side. So I have these two new colors. I did clean up the edges of my palettes on a whim a few nights ago. It's probably been about a week now, and I decided I wanted to round out my palettes instead of buying all new colors. I would just get the few colors that I wanted to spruce up with. So I have all of these colors. This is my indigo, and this is the duo colors. Duo, bronzite. This one's almost gone. I'm going to empty this one out into there. This is my blue apatite genuine, not a favorite color. Viridian, which was living there, also not a favorite color, but I'm trying to power through this. Use up what I have, even if I don't really particularly care for it. My Potter's Pink. I'm going to squeeze out this little bit of Rose of Ultramarine. I love this color. I love it. And I tend to not worry too much about light fastness. I'm looking for the light fastness on here. It says Premium Artist Grade, Daniel Smith, made in the USA. The pigments, PB29 and PV19. Light fastness, resistance. A Lumiere. I'm reading. I'm not seeing that on here. At any rate, I don't usually worry about that stuff. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do with all of this stuff. So I don't need any more of this. This is just in case you didn't see my haul video. This is one of the sticks. Now it comes in it fills this up, and I cut up this much of it and put it in here. And I've wet it down a couple times to kind of make it soft so I can smash it in. You can also wet this and draw with it if you want to. A little example, and dip it in the water, and you can actively draw with this if you want to. And it is the graphite color, like that. You can make with it on the dry side as well. And then once you make, you can also wet it down. Now this is not a piece of watercolor paper that I'm playing on. It's just one of my scraps that lives off to the side. I find that this isn't a color that I go to often, but I figure since I have it, I got it in an art box, I might as well use it for I'm already making a mess. I might as well use it. So that's why that's in there. Let's stick that back in the bin over there. Let's get that out of the way. But I got new colors. I got Undersea Green and Moon Glow. And these are two colors that I've been wanting to try for quite a while. They've been in my wish list. They were $9 something, almost $10 each, which is not bad. I will link all of these colors that I have in the description below if you're interested in any of them. Let's see, what else? The duos, they're fun, but I wouldn't recommend like having to have them. They were a whim purchase for me, and I'm not gonna put any more of them in here until I use up what's it. There's quite a lot left in those two bins, so I'm gonna leave those alone. Potter's Pink is nice and full, so I'm not gonna fill her up. The Bronzite Genuine is pretty full, so I'm not gonna do anything with that one. Let's see, I want to empty out this, and I don't really care for this color. There's quite a lot in there still, so I'm gonna leave this one alone. This is the Blue Apatite Genuine. Let me show you why I don't care for this one. Let me grab a little, get the glitter out of here. Astrid and I were glittering. There is a kind of viscous nature to this one that I'm not really a fan of. Got a little separation going on. Let's mix that back up. With thick it might be alright, but when you thin it down, it gets this like gloopy, kind of snotty feel that I'm not a fan of. I just don't like the way it looks and feels when it's, I tend to work pretty water heavy, and it's not translucent either. It is let me grab a piece of watercolor paper here. Do I have this scrap? I do. Come to me. Thank you. Oh, I stamped on these. That's okay. I just am not a big fan of this color. It's kind of a gray-green. It's very, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of it, so I don't use it a lot. So I'm gonna leave that there. I'll probably use the rest of this on like a background or watercolor bookmarks or something like this. We could just go ahead and swoosh that down, just so I'm not wasting it onto here, and then really it's a pretty color. Maybe I need to give it a better chance. I'm not getting that snotty feel that I had before, which is nice. Maybe I'm just not giving it enough of a chance. Alright, well, we'll have to give it more of a chance then, won't we? I'll stop calling it snotty. Maybe it's just my first go around with it wasn't optimal. So, at any rate, I think we have enough of that in there. So this one, I'm going to go ahead, let's scoot you out of the way so that you can dry. This guy is the Mayan Blue Genuine. I loved it. I believe it was in the dot cards, because I got these dot cards, and these were fun to play with, but I played with them and then I didn't do anything else with them. So we have the Metamorphic Black set, the Green Gems set, this is where it was, the Mayan Blue Genuine. I really liked it, so I got a tube. There were other colors in here that I really liked. The Bronzite was one that I really liked in the sets. Right? Yeah, Bronzite Genuine. Hematite Violet. This one, the Bronzite. I liked all of these, but of all of them, the Bronzite Genuine at the time was really calling to me. I'm really wishing I would have gotten the Red Fuchsia Genuine, because that was would be a more a useful color for me. So I have all these, and these are going to stay out in a little tray on the desk to play with. But that's why I bought this color. Was I found it on the dot cards, and I was like, well, I'll just get one or two colors from all these different samples and try out the whole thing and see if I really like it. Ooh. So that's my reasoning for getting. I'm just bending this. These tubes are not my favorite, the metal ones. Make sure I get it in the right bin. Bit of fuzz on there. Definitely don't want that in my paint. I'll go ahead and rock this down. Just squeeze the rest of it into here, if I can. Alright. I need one of those tube roller things. Another thing you can do is cut the tube. I'm not really that worried about it. This isn't a favorite color anyways. But paint can be a little bit pricey. There we go. So that uses up that one. Okay. This is my Daniel Smith Indigo. There's quite a lot in here. There's a little bit of a divot though. So I'm going to go ahead and probably should have done this long before I opened it. And as you can tell, I love indigo. Indigo is one of my all-time favorite colors. Indigo, dioxazine purple, neutral tint. That's why I'm thinking I'll really like the Moon Glow, because on camera it looked like I'm just running this down. I think I split the tube. I heard a pop. That's not good. I heard a popping sound. So I love indigo. So I figured I would like the Moon Glow a lot because it does, it is reminiscent of the indigo and neutral tint, dioxazine purple, just depending on the mix and how you use it, right? And I know I'm making a glorious mess doing this. It's not very clean, tidy way to get the last little bits of paint out of the tube. Not there. Scrape that off. Let's see how much more I can squeeze. I'm gonna make a big mess on my hands apparently. But that's okay. That's a lot of paint. There's a lot of paint left in there. Cool. Cool. Ooh. Let's fold those over. Get the last globule. Quite a bit. I'm gonna have to smoosh that down with a brush. Okay, that's good with that one. I'm a disaster, you guys. Look at me. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. That's why we have water and napkins. We can wipe the most of it off and not be too stressed. That color, glorious. Glorious. Okay, I'm gonna wet my brush a little bit. Kind of. I hope no one's bored. I know sometimes these kinds of videos can be super boring. We're gonna play with paint in a minute here too. And I really wanted to scrape that off best I can. There we go. Let's grab a little bit. I had like a big pile of stuff that I hadn't stamped on. There we go. This indigo, I mean, look at that. Look at it. So, so beautiful. Some indigos lean purple, some indigos lean blue. I find that intriguing, and I really love how the indigo mixes with other colors. So, there's that for you. We won't be wasting colors. Look how this is drying down. That's really beautiful. This is actually watercolor paper that I'm on right here. Okay. Now this ridiculous Viridian. I don't like Viridian. I mix it with other colors as like a base. It's not a favorite green for me at all. I really need to get one of those two-ringer things. And it is PG18. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up the light fastness stuff because it's not making a whole lot of sense to me, but that's alright. At any rate, I'm gonna put this back where I had it before, which is right here. Rude. I'm gonna just scoot that over and maybe smush this along the lip of the thing, maybe? No? Just fold it down, I guess. Ooh! She's a nice. And here's where it's going to start coming out. Right there. Like I said, not a favorite green. It's not a bad green, it's just not one of my preferred greens. I'm more of a yellow green or it's too vibrant. It's too like grass green for me. Too much, man. It's too much. I'm sorry if my struggling with these paint tubes is frustrating any of you. It's frustrating me as well. I don't like the metal tubes at all. At all, at all. I feel like I should get out a pair of my pliers. Let's do that. Wow, quick. These are cutters. Flat pliers. Gotta be smarter than the average bear. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. That works. Cool. I didn't want to waste the Viridian because I knew I would use it as a mixing color, so I did leave it in the palette. I used it up, clearly. So I'm not sad about it. I just won't repurchase it. Did it come in a set? It did not. It came in an art box. Any colors that I have that aren't in these two sets right here, with the exception of the Ultramarine Potter's Pink and these two duos, of course, and the Bronzite Genuine. I got those extra colors in art boxes. You get that one tube of paint and then other watercolor supplies. I was going to I miss getting a like mail, snail mail. I miss my grabby box. Although I looked at this last grabby box and I was relieved that I didn't get it because it was not up my alley at all. The Sketchbox grabby box. I won't get the watercolor ones because it's mostly student grade paints and whatnot, and I'm not interested in that. I want to try new colors, other brands. I would love to get my hands on the professional grade Sennelier watercolors and Holbein watercolors. Those are the two brands. I know I love both of those brands so much. But I don't need them, clearly. I have my Daniel Smith, I have my Core watercolors. Core is glorious as well, just so you know. And then I have my M. Graham, Daniel Smith, Mission Gold, the Magello set of 24 or 26 pure pigments. Maybe I should scoop this one up a little bit before I go attacking it with the pliers. I really am sorry if this is boring. You don't have to watch the video. I'm just figured I'm playing with paint. I might as well film it. I got new stuff, you guys. I got new stuff. This I'm gonna keep because I really do want to get this one again. Not sure about the light fastness for this one, so you know, don't rush out and buy something just because I have it at all. But if you love it, you know, which I do, I love this color, then by all means. By all means. Get it. Do it. Make it happen. Oops, I poked a hole in there. That's no good. We'll just fold it and smash it down. Smash it. Oh, that's a much better way to do that. Cool. That's a lucky landing. There we go. Empty. Like, down to the nubbins. Down to the bitty bottom. I gotta keep this though, because I gotta write down that that's what I want. Put it in my wish list. For maybe for Christmas. Getting to the point where it's we're halfway through the year, right? July 4th is coming up quick. Then before we know it, it'll be Christmas. You know, provided the world doesn't fall apart any more than it has. Okay, let's fix this a little bit. I just want it to be more, because when it dries, I want it to be a little more high on this side. These wells dip down and they're deeper on this part than they are up here. I don't know if you can like really read that on the screen, but I liked that about this particular palette, that you could put your big glob of paint down in the well there, and then I'll try and get off as much paint. Pull this way when you're pulling your color. So let's do another little color swatch thing here. Okay. This is that. So pretty, you guys. beautiful for florals and birds and just anything you want to paint, really. Jellyfish. We'll watch that dry. Let's see this little bit of color separation. There's touches of blues in there. It's so nice. I dig it. I dig it so much. See, right here. We'll let that dry and I'll show it to you as well, but look at that. It's really just a fun one. Alright, what else am I putting in here? So I'm going to put the moon glow here next to my blues and gray. I'm just gonna a nice globule there. That's enough. A little less than half of the tube. Oh, so glad that didn't land in something terrible. So moon glow. And then I know the Viridian's over here and the Duo Green's over there. Should I put this green here? Kind of in line with those. I was going to put it over here next to the blues. This is Undersea Green. It's a nice dark green color. My instinct is telling me to put it here, so that's where it's going to go. There we go. Again, I'm trying to go for like little less than half the tube. Put those away. And arrange these a little bit. Get rid of air pockets. Moon glow. Feeling very indigo. So the moon glow is going to go right here. Ooh. I can already tell that I'm going to love it. I haven't even played with it yet. Look at that. Let's more water. Really wet this down. This isn't my best watercolor paper that I put this swatch on. So we will play with this color on a different sheet of paper here in a second. Just want to make sure I have a good read on the depth of color we can get. Nice and dark. Just adding water and let it bleed down. Glaring. Sorry if it's glaring for you as well. I want to be able to see how light I can get it as well. There we go. Let's grab a piece of watercolor paper. That is not watercolor paper. And I can tell by the feel of the paper, this is watercolor paper. Grab a nice glob. Ooh. Oh, look at the different colors in there. So fun. Oh, that's going to be fun to play with. Fun. Add more water. See how granulating? It looks like it's going to be a beautifully granulating color. All those blues, can you see them? Blues and purples. Oh, fun. We'll let that dry. Over there. Let's fix our undersea green now. The reason I got the undersea, I think I said earlier or in another video, the unboxing one, is because I like a sap green. I like a nice rich earthy green that I can tint to the yellow greens that I like using, you know, other colors. And depending on your green, you can mix it with blues and get other, you know, variants of your beautiful paint. And that is why I want to do the color study series as well. Okay, let's grab another piece of watercolor paper. Wet. This has a lot of color on it. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Beautiful. Look at that. That's pretty glorious. And you layer it up, you can get some really deep dark greens. And this has a very yellow tint to it, so let's clean this brush really well before I dip it into my yellow. This is the Hansa Yellow Light. I'll pop that in there, and you can get some really beautiful yellow greens, which I like quite a lot. And then grab one of our blues. This one's French Ultramarine, which is also a favorite. As you can tell, I dig in that well quite a lot. Mix that and get some closer to Viridian colors without being Viridian. You know, more that new green color. So you can go either direction with this green, and yeah, I just dig it. I just dig it. Look at how this is the Roosevelt Ultramarine. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And then we're already getting really great granulation on this guy. The trick with the granulation and these colors that separate like this and show up is to use kind of a lot of water, which is my thing. So yeah, I'm loving this. Moon Glow. Glorious. Alright. This doesn't really give us a true... We'll just blob some water in there and let it do its thing. Okay, let's do a swatch of our undersea green right here. I do want to do a swatch of all these colors on my good watercolor paper. This is not my good watercolor paper. I can tell by the feel of it. And the way the paint's going down on it. Gorgeous. I'm really loving this color. It's exactly what I was looking for. Cool. So we've topped off our Viridian and we put in our new colors. Let's pop open this set. You guys can see how much of these I've used. These again are the small tubes. Oh, that's wet, silly. That's wet. You silly girl. This is my French Ultramarine. I only put a little bit in the well. Maybe a quarter of the tube. So we're going to go ahead and top that one off. Just enough. There. Oops. Like that. So I got about a quarter of the tube left. And then, yeah, just gonna go ahead and top these off. This one is Phthalo, which is right here. And the French Ultramarine is wonderful. I don't think we need any more Scarlet, or I put down quite a bit of this one, the Quinacridone Rose, because I use this one a lot. And these reds are just not my thing. I do use the yellow quite a lot, so we're going to go ahead and chop off the Hansa Yellow Light. That. And the new Gamboge. Gamboge I have in my M Grand palette as well, and I just love this color. Good fill. There we go. And I think that's all I need for this set. I'll pop these back in here. So I have about a quarter of a tube of all of them except for the reds. The reds I don't wear through as quickly. Not sure why. Couldn't even tell you. I just don't gravitate, you know? Now these I've used quite a lot. Should we fill those up too real quick? I feel like we should. These puppies. These are fun. These are super fun. This one is our iridescent copper. I don't want to get them in the wrong spot. So copper, Aztec gold. This is the topaz. This is the ruby, the blue, and then the white. I don't feel like we should kind of dug into that one a lot. We're just gonna do it. Gonna do it. There we go. This is white. Pearlescent White is the name of this one. And these are the Shimmer Set Jean Haynes All That Shimmers set. Like I said, I'll link these down below so in case you guys really want to take a look-see, see if it's something you want. They're a lot of fun. I recommend them. I use them in my flowers and my birds. Sometimes I'll throw them in a landscape just for funsies. There we go. Again, down to about a quarter of the tube. And then the ruby. This one's really beautiful on paper. I mean, now that it's not in the palette, but it's really beautiful on the paper. There we go. Get a mess of that. Wipe that out. Too messy to get the lid back on. There we go. And our electric blue. This one's really fun on black paper. I actually used a lot of this one. There we go. Come on, get back on there. Again, made a mess. Go. Ta-da! And then the Aztec gold. I can't believe how much of these I used. And these will take, I'll leave these out on my bar over there, my island, for probably a week to make sure they dry down really well. Before I close the lids on my palettes, because these palettes do have a little rubber gasket. I haven't had any problems with mold or anything like that. because I let them dry, I'm thinking before I put them away. I don't usually put my palette right away, close it all up tight. I'll leave it like half open or completely open, and then put it away once everything's dried out. There we go. That's all those puppies. Oh, that guy laid down on its side. Get up, quit being lazy. There we go. Not enough. So that's those done. And these are done. Again, this is the Watercolor Essentials kit. It has your warm and cool yellow, red, blue. So that's a really good place to start with a set. I got these because I like shimmer paints way too much. Let's see. Here's that. I think I might be really liking this color now that it's on a good watercolor paper. This is offcut of Arch's watercolor paper, 140-pound cold press, and I'm liking the granulation kind of a lot, and that tone is really nice. It's nice and earthy, in a different way than this. It's more of a blue with, I don't know, I'm really digging it a lot. And then these are our new colors, these two right here. Moon Glow and, yeah, digging it. Gonna be so much fun to use in a painting. Alright, so that's pretty much all I had for this video. I just wanted to refill my palette, and I'll go through and like spread the refill out and fill in the gaps and really, you know, neaten things up a bit. Like this one is globbing up right there, which is undesirable. This is my ultramarine. This is a favorite. The essential set, I like all the colors in the essential set. That's these right here. These 6 from the yellow to the blue I'm playing in. I wanted to keep them together visually in my palette. And you'll see my M. Graham palette too. I do tend to lean a particular way with my scrape off as much of that paint as I can. Ultramarine. Ultramarine's naturally granulating color. It's beautiful for your seas and your skies, if you'd like that effect, especially in your skies. I tend to mix it with other colors to offer that granulation to other colors. If you mix a granulating color with your other colors, it will let, they'll tend to lean that way. I'm not going to touch the Viridian. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to fix my yellow a little bit though. Any air pockets. And you don't have to do this part with a toothbrush either. You could use a toothpick. It probably wouldn't pick up as much paint as the brush does. This will take a little minute to dry. My Gamboge, which is a lovely, lovely color. One of my faves. Across brands, like this is one of my favorites. And any quinacridone red rose color, I like those a lot as well. Scrape that up. Okay. These guys are looking alright, but they tend to stay These ones particularly tend to stay right with them. See? It's like frosting. So I want to get that lean going in. And with these pearlescent colors, these particular ones, you do want to spritz them before you get rolling with them. They do take a minute to activate. I tend to spritz my colors when I start painting anyways, but it's just something to note. This is really messy, but I don't want to clean it up. Just leave it alone, it'll be fine. It's gold. See how it moves around like frosting? It's hardly picking any up off the brush. That air pocket out of there. But once it dries, it does re-wet nicely. I've just found that with the mica paints, anything with mica in it or pearlescent, it's a good idea to give it a little spritz and let it sit for a few minutes before you get rolling on a painting. I find with my M. Graham paints, though, that I don't really need to spritz them before I start a painting. It's really not necessary. Or my cores, really, core watercolors. I don't find that I need to wet those down before I use them either. Frosting. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. So pretty. Right here. Look at that. It's vibrant. And on black paper, it just is punchy. It's a very punchy color. Again, I'm sorry if this is boring. I find it to be really relaxing. If you paint with watercolors, what's your favorite color? Hands down, like what brand and what color is your favorite? And do you find this kind of activity to be relaxing? Like refreshing your palettes and cleaning things up? Or is this kind of a chore that you don't really look forward to? I would love to know. Or even any, acrylics or oils. I do have oil paints, which I need to get out and play with now that I'm in my own home. I've been avoiding them because A, I didn't want to travel with wet paint when I moved, and then, see, it's like frosting. Boop. And then I was living with other people, and you don't want to oil paint in someone else's home. I mean, I did. I wanted to. I just didn't want to. You know what I mean, right? Let's get this little frosted baby spread out and tucked in to all the crevices as well. And the reason, there's a hair right there. I'm gonna pluck that up, maybe. There we go. For me, the reason for doing this part is so that when I pick up the paint later, I don't have a weird divot in my paint, because that will bother me. The whole reason I got this palette is because I like the depth, that slope. And it is nice to be able to work this way. And the more you come this way, the less paint it picks up. Ooh, let's drop this pearlescent in here. See, isn't that pretty? Add it in with other colors, it really shines. It really shines. Okay, so that's this palette put back together. All the colors that I wanted. Colors I wasn't so thrilled about. This one. This Viridian. I'm not sure, man. just not a favorite. You guys have colors that aren't your favorites, right? We all do. Like you buy the set and you're like, not my favorite. Okay, I need a pen because I need to label these while I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, I'm not going to remember. Just not. So, under sea green. And moon glow. There we go. Perfect. So what do you think of my two new colors? Are they colors you would use, these two, in your paints? Do you love this one? The Rose of Ultramarine? And this is the indigo. Is it? Yeah, this is the indigo. I love me some indigo. And then this one is that Blue Apatite Genuine. So I think I might play with that one a little more because I'm really liking the granulation. Yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments below of the rehash of my palette, the two new colors, the additions to the group, the lovely additions to the group. There it is. See, I just needed a spot where when I'm looking at the color I can see that there's a variant. Let's see if you guys can see that on the swatch. There we go. There's a variant in the color, right? Yeah. Look at that. Glorious. Yeah, I dig it. That granulation on this one. I'm really liking this one now. I don't know why I was thinking it was a terrible color before. I must have had a bad reaction. Like a bad initial playtime. Okay, so we're almost an hour in. I'm going to stop right here. Let me know what you think of the new colors of the Daniel Smith lineup. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for being here, hanging out. Bye!